Hey y'all, so today we're going to talk about fractions as division and how to convert improper fractions into mixed numbers and how to turn them back again. So why are we thinking of fractions as division? Well, first let me show you how we think about fractions as division. So when you have a fraction, the numerator is on top and the denominator is on the bottom. So for my example, I'm going to use the number 3/4. So the number 3 is my numerator, and the number 4 is my denominator, okay? And the numerator is the dividend and the denominator is the divisor. So if I say 3/4, that's the same as saying 3 divided by 4. So 3 divided by 4. That fraction symbol that we see right there, the fraction symbol that we see right here, acts as our division symbol. So 3 divided by 4. The dividend is the numerator and the divisor is the denominator. So why are we even learning this? Well, if you look at a fraction, it tells you a part out of a whole. Sometimes if a fraction is improper, the numerator is bigger than the denominator. This means we must find the mixed number. So just as a refresher, a mixed number is a number that has the whole number and then the smaller fraction on the side. That would be said 1 2/3. Sometimes when we're trying to solve a problem, we have to turn the mixed number into an improper fraction. So an improper fraction is whenever the number on top is bigger than the number on the bottom. So the numerator is bigger than the denominator. So we have a mixed number, which is an example would be 1 2/3, and then an improper fraction would be 5/3. The numerator is bigger than the denominator. And we're going to figure out today why these two values are the same and how we get there. So how in the world do we do that? Well, I am going to show you on the next slide. Okay, so the J method. We use the J method to turn improper fractions into a mixed number. The improper fraction that I used on the previous slide was 5/3. Another way to think about 5/3 is 5 divided by 3. And as I previously mentioned, the 5 is going to be my dividend and the 3 is going to be my divisor. So let me write that out. We have 3 as a divisor and 5 as a dividend. And then we use our long division standard algorithm method that we learned a few weeks back to get our answer. Now it might seem kind of silly because you know 3 goes into 5 one time, like what's the catch? But the catch is what's left over. So 3 goes into 5 one time, and then 3 times 1 is 3. We subtract and we have 2 left over. Remember, if you're one of those people that's super math savvy and you want to put decimals and zeros and carry down zeros, that's finding it in decimal form, and that's something that you're not responsible for knowing until the beginning of 6th grade. So if that's you, don't do that way. We're doing the mixed number J method right now. So the J method comes into play because what we do looks like a J. So the answer is 1 2/3. So 1 2/3. And it looks like a J, looks like a hook. We call it the J method because it quite literally looks like a J. So 1 2/3. We start with the 1, which is the whole number. We go down to the 2, which is my numerator. And then the 3 is my denominator. So we get 1 2/3 whenever we convert 5/3 into a mixed number. So with this one, you're probably going to know the answer because we kind of just did it, but we're going to go backwards. I call this the refresh method because it looks like the refresh button and the direction is the same. So the refresh method. If I have my mixed number and I want to turn it back into an improper fraction, I first write my mixed number. So our mixed number from the example is 1 2/3. Whenever I am doing the refresh method, I have to first multiply my denominator by my whole number, and then I add the numerator. So 3 times 1 gives me 3. And then 3 plus 2 gives me 5. So my answer for that one would be 5/3. I get 5/3 because I took the 3 and I multiplied it. Oops, I didn't want that color. I took the 3 and I multiplied it by 1, and then I added the 3 that I got from that first operation, added it to 2, and I got 5/3, which gives me 5/3. So our direction looks like a refresh button. Okay, so let's try another example with different numbers. So you might see a problem like this whenever you're working on your math this week. Write 5 3/4 as an improper fraction. So 5 3/4, that's written in word form. If I put that in standard form, that would be written like, oh, let me change that, hold on. So if I were to write 5 3/4 in standard form, that would be 5 3/4. And I'm trying to change it into an improper fraction, which means that I need to use my refresh method, which means I need to start with my denominator, which is 4, multiply it by 5, and then add the 3. My denominator is going to stay the same. So equals some number over 4. So 4 times 5 is 20. 20 plus 3 is 23/4. And that would be my answer to that problem. Okay, you might see another example this week. Write 10/3 as a mixed number. So 10/3 is in word form. I know that if I'm writing that in standard form, that 10/3 is going to be 10/3 or 10/3. So that's the same way of thinking of it as 10 divided by 3. And I need to make my improper fraction into a mixed number. The way that I do that is through the J method. So 10 divided by 3, I'm going to write it like standard algorithm. So 10 divided by 3, 3 is my divisor, 10 is my dividend, and then I use my long division standard algorithm method that I learned a few weeks back. So 3 goes into 10 3 times. 3 times 3 is 9. I subtract and have 1 left over. There's no more numbers to bring down. So that means I'm done. And now I'm ready for my J method. So I start at the top with my whole number, which is 3, my numerator, which is 1, and my denominator, or my divisor, which is my denominator, which is 3. So my answer as a mixed number, 10/3 is also equal to 3 1/3. So in conclusion, why are we learning this? We use the J method to turn improper fractions into a mixed number. We use the refresh method to turn our mixed numbers into improper fractions. And the main reason why we do this is so that we can add, subtract, multiply, and divide fractions with ease.